We're going to call the meeting to order for July 21st, 2021. This meeting is being recorded for rebroadcast on Lunenburg Public Access. Review and sign warrants. Get right on it. We're going to review and sign warrants.
Not much, just two.
Just two.
And then this.
Yep. How are we doing today?
We're doing good.
Great.
How are you?
It's a little cooler today than it was yesterday.
Which is a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah, yesterday was nasty.
Yeah. It was pretty amazing. It didn't rain today.
Second day this month, maybe.
Hopefully, we're going for, what was it, last Thursday, I think was the first day. We're looking for 2 Thursdays in a row without rain, hopefully.
That'd be good.
While you're looking at the warrants, I got to review those minutes quick.
We get the official stamp out today, huh?
You get ready to sign your name about 50 times.
Is that 1938?
39.
I'm only limited to 10, and I get carpal tunnel.
Want a motion to approve those?
I make a motion to approve the minutes of July 14th, 2021.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Second.
Aye.
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 I never can get them two.
Okay, we're on to sign and vote general obligation for the bond for the new office and garage. So,
This is David Eidsfeld. He's from Unibank. He did all the paperwork, all the behind-the-scenes stuff. Mostly him and Christy did all the stuff and the valuation stuff like that. So he knows if you got questions, unless you want to present to you.
Well, I'll say as much or as
Say as
little
much as you want.
Because the reason we're here is that the town, the district, took bids on bonds last week on the 14th of July that financed the construction of this building. The district received 3 bids. The winning bid was at about 2.09%.
Wow.
True interest cost. Now, if you include the all-in costs, us, bond counsel, all the costs of issuance, you're still at about 2.19, 2.18%.
Wow.
yeah.
This is for a 28-year loan, level payments, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's really pretty good.
Yep.
So,
Great.
The debt service over the 28 years from fiscal year 23 to fiscal year 50 will average approximately $158,000 a year. The proceeds of the issue, which the district will receive on the 28th of July, will pay most of the bands that are currently outstanding that temporarily finance this building. The district will make a $60,000 principal payment and an interest payment from appropriation. I can talk a little bit about S&P Global Ratings. The district got a AA- rating from S&P. The rating agency saw affordable service rates and adequate operational capacity, likely good coverage of debt service by revenues. The district does have the ability to levy taxes if necessary, although it hasn't done so in something like 75 years. Very strong wealth and income levels, consistent budgetary performance, and low to moderate debt burden. Fran and Christy and I spoke with an analyst from S&P in late June, and they came back with a rating before the bids in early July. So I'll through you, Mr. Chairman, any other questions you might have?
AA- rating, is that,
It gets you what you need to do. I mean,
Yeah.
the town is a little bit, town of Lunenburg also has an S&P rating. It's a little stronger. It's a AA+.
yeah,
But, that's not unusual for if you have a utility, a water utility within a town like this. It's not unusual that the district would be a notch or two off of
What the town's
what
doing.
the town has.
Mhm.
So I think it's fine. It got you the 3 bids. It got you
Yep.
very decent bids.
Mhm.
So I think that, they're probably, if the district were larger and had more resources for administration, Christie and I were talking about this.
yeah,
If she had a larger staff, she could probably do some things that might make S&P happy, but I'm not sure that it's worth your
Yeah.
while doing those things
Mhm.
to get there. I think, what you have works, and, if you do have other capital borrowing you're thinking of in the next several years, maybe we revisit that issue. But I think for now, what you have works pretty well. I will mention that the district will be needing to make what's called limited continuing disclosure going forward. Every year, you'll need to file your audits and other kind of district reports there's a website called the EMA, which is run by the Municipal Securities Rulemaking Board. We would assist Christie and Fran in making those filings. And if there were any changes in the bond rating, or if there were any material financial obligations, like leases, borrowings through the Mass Clean Water Trust or State House notes, we would help the district file notices of this.
Is that something that you contact us on an annual basis, or something that we have to
Contact you.
calendar? Okay.
We will contact you. Since you're on a June 30 fiscal year, we'd be in touch with you right after the turn of the calendar year, because it would be, the filings would, audits are filed whenever they're ready. If you don't have an audit ready within 270 days of the but you're supposed to file within 270 days if you have the information available.
Mhm.
Who ended up picking up the mortgage? Nothing.
Roosevelt and Cross and Associates bought the bonds. That's actually an underwriting firm. I'm assuming that they then sold the pieces, the bonds, to their customers, their bond customers, probably a variety of institutional and retail investors, I would say, banks, insurance
Yep.
companies, and the like.
Pretty complicated, pretty spread out amongst everybody.
Yep.
Everybody gets a piece of the act.
That's the idea with a loan of this size. You want to get a firm like, the 3 bidders were Roosevelt and Cross, R.W. Baird out of Milwaukee, and Fidelity Capital Markets out of Boston. All well-known within this world. They're well-known investment banking firms. And all of the bids were within 0.1%.
Wow.
So 208, 209, and 215 were the bids. So
Now, what did you mean by levy taxes?
Or us, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can levy taxes to any resident within the district if it's needed to pay.
Make a payment.
Make a payment if something happens, or we'd have to distinguish, I believe, what the tax is for. But
What would it be for? To pay the,
to pay
Like
bills.
when we originally started.
Right.
The money wasn't there
yeah.
to pay for the loan payments.
Okay.
So they taxed everybody to get their feet off the
They
ground.
taxed everybody in the district.
In the district, yeah.
Right.
And I think it was, I don't know if they went to the whole district boundary, or they just went to what the district mains were. I'm not sure how they did it, but I'm not sure if there's actually,
right.
if you can actually change it or not, or if it's just, well, back then, the district boundaries were pretty tight to where
Right.
the water mains were, so.
I think it would be something that, again, it's been 1940s when the last time the district levied a tax. And
Right.
the way I believe it would work is if you, the commissioners, voted to levy a tax, you would swear a warrant to the assessors of the town, and the assessors would add your levy to the town's tax bills, and the tax collector for the town would then collect the revenue and turn it over to the district treasurer.
But would only go to the water takers, or the whole town?
In
No,
the district.
in the district.
Anybody in the district, whether you got water or not?
I believe that's
Anybody
what
in
the
the
case
would
would
be
be.
served by the water
Yeah.
district.
But I don't think we're
Worried about that.
not really worried
We're not
about
worried
that.
about it.
Fortunately, we've done a good job, and everybody over the years previous to us have done a good job, so that
Yep.
we don't need to levy taxes.
Not yet.
I will say that the fact that you do have that power is what, I mean, you'll see that these are called general obligation bonds.
Yeah,
The ability to levy taxes is why you're able to do general obligation bonds. If you didn't have that power, you would have to, it would be a pure revenue bond issue, and you'd have to hire an engineer to do a kind of a feasibility study or a rate study to make sure that your revenues would be sufficient, and you'd have to have coverage, rate covenants, and so on. I mean, I work with a couple of similar kinds of utilities that just do revenue bonds, the Boston Water and Sewer Commission, and they have to hire an engineer to look, do a rate study when they do new bonds for capital. In this case, it was a little simpler because you didn't need to, the work that Fran and Christie and I did, we did talk about the assessed valuation of the district, but we also talked about, based on the financial results, what kind of coverage of debt service was coming from water rate revenues. And so both were important in the analysis that S&P did, and in the analysis I think that the analysts, the various underwriters did.
I think having that ability, though, to levy the tax gave us a better rating, and therefore gave us a lower interest rate.
I think that's
As a whole.
probably, that's likely.
So it's nice that it's there,
Yeah.
not that we ever intend to use it, but it helped us in this case.
More of a guarantee.
Yep,
Exactly. yeah.
great. All right, let's
So
get
you-
writer's cramp.
Nope, you need to make a motion to accept.
Uh,
Can you read this part and then just say as follows listed in this?
Yeah, so I guess I would have to accept a motion that the sale of $3,275,000 dollars in general obligation bonds of the district dated July 28th, 2021, the bonds, to Roosevelt and Cross, Inc., at the price of $3,383,042.55, and accrued interest, if any, is hereby approved and confirmed. The bond shall be payable on November 1 of the years, and in the principal amounts, and bear interest at the respective rates as follows. And I would like to note that years 2022 through years 2028 is listed here. And also the term of the bond due is up to 2036 and 2041.
Broken down. It's
Oh,
broken down
broken
to the
down.
3 different ones, sorry.
Yeah,
So it goes till
okay. So
2049.
the bonds as broken down in this document all the way until the year 2049. We have to go over the further noted?
I will
can
put
we
those
go
in as,
No.
No.
No. So the motion as read to include the documents within.
Yep.
Anyone want to move that motion?
I'll move it.
Okay, anybody want to second that motion?
I'll second it.
Okay, so we're going to review this. This is basically what was just discussed, the term of the note for the construction of the new building here. All those in, do you want to review those real quick before we
Yeah, I'll take a look at them.
vote? Okay. And then what's the next process is, then we have to sign all the documents
Yep.
a million times?
So I will just start signing and passing them to you.
Okay. How many copies of these?
Mhm.
I feel like I'm buying a house.
We pulled all just the
Same deal.
signature pages out of it, so it looks the same, but they all go in.
Okay. See, this is the part where you need a little bit of music to play. You know, by the last page, you can't read my name.
Your writer's
Anyway,
cramp.
But by the last page, you're
Yep.
definitely not gonna read it.
They're all the same, Miss Bo.
Well, I'm
I know they
gonna
are.
try to send them back in somewhat order that she sent them, so that she knows which one.
Also, while we're signing, I want to thank everybody for their work on this, and everything that needed to be put together to
My pleasure.
get this done. We really appreciate the time that you spent on it, and Fran and Christie getting this all together.
It was incredible how much detailed stuff. I mean, because we went through evaluations for every person in town, and he set it all up, but it was who had water, who didn't, so and then evaluations of who has water, who doesn't, so I mean, it was a lot of work that went into getting that done.
I will say that the town assessor's office was very cooperative.
I went up and brought them a little something to say thank you, just
Yeah,
some muffins,
very
and to say we appreciate all your,
Who gets all these pages?
Oh, there it goes somewhere.
Yep, they're all getting FedEx tomorrow.
Some will go to bond counsel and some will land with the paying agent. We'll keep them in safekeeping until they mature.
Espo, you're the only one signing personally for this building.
Yes.
Sorry, I'll be dead by the
So
time
we
this
saw
happens.
them all printing, we're like, there's something wrong. The printer
Oh, that's
messed
it.
up, it just kept doing it, so.
That's it.
Okay. So once John gets done, are we done?
Nope, then I need you for the bond.
Well, I'm the only
So
one that's
because
writing
of
my
this,
name.
the
I'm the
proceeds
only
to the
one writing my
bond
name.
Yep.
are going into our account that we have at Unibank. Unibank is then pulling out the temporary borrowing that we had to
Right.
have to pay this off. Well, the district had to pay a portion, like he had mentioned, a portion of this. So I need you to,
And we've already accounted for this amount in our
I
budget?
believe so, didn't you already?
Oh,
We-
yeah,
I should have.
Yeah.
Because we remember we went over the 60,000 and the interest.
Yes.
So
Yep.
we
Okay,
went
but
over
where
that.
does,
So
where
it's
does
in the
that
budget.
come out of?
It's in our budget under the loan payment and the interest.
Okay.
So the interest, it's all in the budget.
So
Okay.
I don't, you can reword if you want, but this was just talking with them, what I need to
Yeah,
process
because
all
when
of
we went
that.
through the budget, we talked to David to figure out what we need to put in
Okay.
the budget.
So this is the amount, though?
Yeah, no, because David would like to, it's close,
Okay.
I don't know if it's gonna be exact.
Approximately $88,000.
approximately, if you would like to say that.
Well, I can't do an approximate, I gotta do an up to or a specific amount if we're gonna make a motion for this.
So you think 92 would be cover it?
You can just say, well, 89,000 would be more than enough.
Okay, up to.
Okay. So, again, I would accept the motion to allow the clerk treasurer to transfer from the operating account to Unibank the sum of no more than $92,000 needed to cover a portion of the principal and interest to be paid to Newburyport and Century Bank.
Say
Second.
92 or 90?
So moved.
He said 92.
92,
Up to
okay, I'm sorry.
92,000.
So moved.
Okay, now you seconded that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We also had another motion on the table while we were signing all that documentation on that, the motion to actually pay, accept that and pay that out.
Oh, yes.
Oh, so you
We
never
Yes.
didn't, we
Yep.
we moved the motion, we need to vote on that motion. If everybody's ready to vote on that, we'll vote on that motion.
Yeah,
I'm
I
ready.
guess I'm ready. I mean,
Okay.
there's nothing I'm looking
No,
at
it's
here that I'm
basically
gonna
the
change, that's for
terms of the
sure.
note to basically the year 2050, but 2049 is the maturity of the note for the building. That's just the interest laid out and everything there. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, so that motion's done. So, review and sign the letter to submit to the town of Lunenburg regarding Pondview Commons development on Howard Street.
So I
So-
printed copies for
Thank
all
you.
of you. Thank you, David.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate everything you've done.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, if you want, does he need any of this, or you're sending all of this out?
Nope, we're FedExing everything out.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so the town has requested our comments on the 40B project proposed by Pondview Commons Development on Howard Street. And we have a drafted letter in front of you, which I'll read so that the public can hear it as well. In regards to Pondview Commons LLC, we are sending a letter to the town manager, Heather Lemieux. Dear Heather, you have requested comments relative to the Pondview Commons, a proposed development consisting of 200 rental housing units on 18.5 acres of land on Howard Street in the town of Lunenburg. The project, the developer, Pondview Commons, has requested a project eligibility letter from Mass Housing. The land proposed for the project is not located within the boundaries of the Lunenburg Water District. Although the water district is within the town of Lunenburg, it does not encompass the entire area of the town of Lunenburg. The Lunenburg Water District of Lunenburg was created by the Act of Legislature under Chapter 17 of the Acts of 1939. In that act, the water district can expand the district boundaries by approval of the registered voters that reside within the district. There has already been an attempt to include the project into the water district. The Board of Water Commissioners called a special meeting of the water district on January 27th, 2021. Article was drafted to authorize the water district boundaries to be expanded to encompass the project area. It was put to a vote. The registered voters of the water district and the article failed as the registered voters voted no in majority not to allow the project to be included into the water district. Therefore, as the project area is not within the water district, the Lunenburg Water District does not have the ability to service the project as the water district is not authorized to sell water outside the bounds of the water district. Do we have any comments from members of the board regarding this letter? I know there's a lot of information put in here, but it's pretty much what we've been discussing all
Yeah,
along.
the intent was to show that it was attempted to put it in, it wasn't, the voters
Yeah.
denied it, and,
I think the ratepayers have spoken.
Yeah, and there's a lot more could go to it, but this is basically, it's not our intention to service that project.
Well, I think the letter
Based on
says
information.
everything we
Okay.
need to say.
Any public comment on this
That was
letter or
the
anything
draft.
where we have
I
some
have the
public here?
official one.
Okay,
You guys
you
want
have
to
the
sign it
official
on the
one.
letterhead.
Okay, yeah. So that will be sent off, and that's a matter of public record now.
so on that, we still have the July 28th, Wednesday, 1 o'clock, the site walk,
Yep,
and I put, they asked again who's attending, I put just myself and you on the,
Thank you.
next Wednesday, right?
yes, next Wednesday, yeah.
Okay. Okay, any more on that?
There's a couple of things. I called State Rep Cronin.
Yep.
They called back just questioning how things are going to work on this. And I said, with the ZBA, that's a town department, we're not part of the town. How are they going to tell us what to do? And he mentioned that the housing with the 40Bs, it's kind of difficult to understand. So he recommended that we talk to the town's council. He says they're going to review all this stuff, and they're going to have to figure it all out. so that we should talk to them. So maybe our council or us talks with
Yeah,
with the
I think
town
we should
council. all
rely
get-
on our council too.
Yes.
So we all get it together. and-
Did we get anything back from our council on this item?
Just a little bit. I mean,
I spoke to Amy, so Brian Riley, our contact there,
Mhm.
put me in touch with a colleague of his, Amy. So I spoke with her for a while Friday, and she said kind of the same thing that the state reps guy said, that it's very complicated.
Mhm.
She said, but this is what she recommended. We actually went back and forth with them. They actually helped with the letter, putting this all together. But she said, I just go step by step for now. This is step one, wait until we hear back. She feels the same way, agrees what everybody's saying. He's not in the district. It seems very simple, she says, but unfortunately with 40B, it's not.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of other things that can come up.
yeah,
And-
moving pieces that we're going to have to
Yeah,
gradually work our way through.
yeah.
Has she had any experience in this before with our situation being a district?
Very little. She said she didn't get into it too much, but she did say I think they are currently have a similar situation. She didn't get into what stage they were at,
Yeah.
if they were still early like we are, or if they were ahead of it. But it sounds like she is working on something similar to this. So that's the tough part, is that there's
Yeah.
not much precedence.
But they are ahead.
Yes.
They're further ahead than we are. So
Yes. So hopefully
maybe
that
we're
could
getting-
help
We're going to
us.
get guidance from
Right,
the other.
Yeah.
the precedent.
Right.
Yeah. So
Okay. Review and vote on any changes to rules and regulations. I had notes, and then a lot of the changes you had made were things that we've already voted on. I don't know if you want to review that now, or if we just push it to the next meeting.
We can push it. Yeah, I would, we'll put it on the agenda one time, we'll actually go
Yeah.
through the notes.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, I made some notes and reviewed it, but I still was working on, I wanted to read the whole thing, not just the changes. So discuss Sprint termination letter and T-Mobile license renewal.
Okay, so T-Mobile, they're taking over they merged, but so T-Mobile's gonna take charge of all the Sprint and T-Mobile sites. So in Lunenburg, we have not yet received it, but I did speak to the attorney, and we're getting a termination letter from Sprint. I did see a building permit come through the town, because we're all part of the approving the building permits. And so the building permit went through to remove the stuff from the tank, but I haven't heard anything on the official termination of it. The T-Mobile agreement, we've been working on that for like 2 years now. I passed that on to the new attorneys.
Yep.
I made a bunch of notes, my concerns. Most of it was tied to Sprint leaving and T-Mobile taking over. I didn't want to give them open access to that tank to say, hey, we want an 8-antenna system, and take over the Sprint stuff and pay us one rent versus where they were paying 2. So we're tightening that up, so there's it's pretty strict on what they're allowed to do. If they want to do more than that, then they need to come sit with the board and renegotiate that price.
Okay.
So then the other thing was that we wanted to tighten up was the maintenance of the tank. So when we need to paint that tank, they need to move their stuff.
Yep.
So I was getting, I don't know if the attorney will follow with me, but I was pretty firm on that. You agree to move off the tank, and if you don't, then we have the authorization to terminate the contract.
Okay.
Because we have to, it's not...
Yeah, it's gotta be done.
Nope. So that's still in process?
Yeah, I just sent it to him yesterday.
Okay. We have any other additions?
Just one thing on the antennas, when they remove those, they remove them a certain way. They just,
They were cold welded to the tank,
Yeah.
so it's just studs, so they're just gonna leave the studs
okay,
and just unbolt them.
All
So
right.
they shouldn't impact the tank at all. On the new agreements, I put specifics in there that if they weld to the tank, they need to do an internal tank inspection. And if there's any damage found, they need to repair the coating
In the tank?
inside and out.
inside the
Yep.
tank.
Yeah.
Okay. We all set? Anything else there? Any public comment? All right, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
All right.
We're done.
We're done.
I know.